Well, I'm back building houses, and as usual, I'm not quite sure about this one. I don't know if it needs more brick or if it needs something above the terracotta, but regardless, I have some more work to do on that. I did also do some of this grass in along here by the wall. It's boring and tedious work, and I think not even worthy of a time lapse. So you will not be seeing me do any of that on camera. I might just even try to convince somebody else to do this work, because that is just how much I do not want to do this. One concern that I do still have with this house is the roof. In other cases where I've done this loom trick on top of terracotta and brick, I've had this dark oak color. So over there you can see the looms and dark oak on top. Over here you've got looms, dark oak on top. I skipped them over here, but still dark oak goes best on top of the terracotta builds. Now, that's only really a problem because this roof is also dark oak. Here in this one, I had kind of some vertical difference. With this one, there's not going to be enough visual difference between this roof and this one because they're going to be the same height. I think one way I could get around the issue would be to make this building taller. And I do have an idea as to how I might do that. I'm just not sure if I want to yet. Obviously, there's going to be other buildings behind it, and I may not want to block them. I could just do a different color roof, which maybe feels like the obvious solution. But then the question, of course, is what? It needs to be dark, and it should be earth toned. I put some nether brick slabs up there instead of wood. Honestly, I think it looks really good. Maybe not this part. I mean, this building will connect to this one, so don't need to worry about that. But the mushroom block underneath, I could take it or leave it. I could do stairs to get it a little steeper, or since I did the 2 slabs, I can do single slabs instead. So I'm gonna try that and put those stairs in place, and then we are gonna move on to the next building, house, whatever, thinger. All right, I know I've been saying that I was going to put a big official type of building in this spot, and I've kind of changed my mind a little bit. I instead want to put a big old tree right there. So you can see I've started the base of it and one of the roots. It's going to take a ton of acacia wood, so I brought over some saplings, and I have started my little tree farm over there, and we're gonna see how this goes. I had some struggles with the trunk over there, but otherwise I think it's going pretty well. I'll check in again once I have this part up and to the height that I want, and I'm ready to start putting leaves in probably after that. I did sort of realize that I've been making all these trees and collecting all this wood, and I haven't collected any leaves. And I don't know if you know this, but leaves are a pretty important part of a tree. There's honestly so much thought and planning that goes into a tree because it is custom and you have the ability to make it look just right and look really, really nice. So you almost, then you kind of have to. Whereas like with real life trees, they just do their thing. They already know what's up. Let me fly away and see how it looks. So far, it do be looking like a tree. These guys should be relatively flat compared with like the bushy oak trees, and we'll let it be, because I was thinking I would go a little bit more willow shaped, and I'm still not entirely opposed to that, but I think it would also look really cool if it was kind of a climate appropriate tree. Just a few more branches and a few more leaves, and maybe tidy up the roots a little bit. And this thing is going to be looking really, really cool. I am going to have to do something about this path. Okay, putting the last couple of leaves into place on this branch, and that was the last major branch for the tree. I am so proud of that tree. I did that. Look at that. Look at that thing I made. Let's make some more houses. This one I decided to give it like an outdoor-ish staircase leading up into the house. I think that gives, again, a little bit of variety versus, you know, some of the other houses I've been working on. The reason for birch on this house is primarily just the color. Obviously, I wanted something a little bit lighter, but not all white, just to make the change into all white houses over on this side of the island feel just a little more gradual. Yeah, obviously I had to come back over here to the tree farm. There's never, ever enough wood for these houses. I think it is an easy choice to put the bedrooms right along this back wall, just like the last house, a sitting area, maybe kitchen type of spaces that overlook the tree and the bay and everything, so that's sort of a no-brainer. I think also the longer I think about it, the more I am kind of comfortable with a taller building for this one. If it goes up just above the roof on that one, then I can do pretty much any roof style that I want, and I won't be constrained by what I've got going on over here. So that's what I'm leaning towards at the moment. And then the building behind it will just have to go even taller than that if it wants to look out over and see the water as well. It has occurred to me though that if I'm making this building much taller enough to have a second floor, which is what I would need in order to get over that roof, then I really don't need bedrooms on this floor. I need bedrooms on the next floor up. So I need to pretty much rip all these out. I did decide to go with spruce for the stairs and the floors. I really like this birch border that I did for the balcony. I think that looks really nice. And then I just need to bring these walls up and start working on the actual kind of walls for the different rooms that are going to be in here. As usual, I'm not going to go crazy with the interior. Kind of just want to get the structure built up and then kind of move on to the next house or two. I'm hoping to finish both of these for this episode, so can't really spend a whole lot of time on each individual house, especially the insides. I did settle on this sort of half slab all the way around roof design. It felt like kind of the obvious choice for this building, partly just, you know, it looks the best in my opinion, but it also adds a lot of variety. I know there's a couple of birch logs that I didn't get to take out just yet, but this is looking, I think, pretty nice. Get it from over here and see how it looks from this angle. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think it's actually a good thing that it didn't come up into a sharper point than that. I think the flat roof or flatter roof style is a good one, especially for this this area, these types of builds that I've been working on here. It's the climate, so to speak. I am putting way too much thought into these like bedrooms at the top of these stairs here. I feel like I say this for every new house that I build, but this house is my new favorite. I think this one looks so cool. Unfortunately, we are basically completely out of sand. So I will need to go and source some more of that, preferably without disturbing the landscape over here. This was also all of the mushroom stem that I had on hand, so that is another problem that I will need to be dealing with. As you can see from my coordinates, I have flown out pretty far and just found a spot that I can safely dig up a whole bunch of sand. Everyone always says that collecting sand is one of the more satisfying things that you can do in Minecraft, and I kind of get it. I don't do this very often, so it's a pretty nice change of pace. All right, well, that's a pretty good haul, I would say, and I am all ready to head back. Next up is mushroom stems. This is not nearly enough, but it is enough to get started. I've run into a little bit of a hiccup. It's actually the same problem that I have with the house that I based this roof off of, so you would think that I would learn my lesson, but apparently I do not. The center of the roof, the peak, is going to be 1 block across instead of the 2, which is much nicer. I'm kind of wondering if there's something else I could do to make that not look like that. I mean, I could go for just the regular sloped roof, and that would probably look just as well. But I was hoping for something a bit flatter on this one, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that. Okay, I think this is going to be my solution. It's just gonna end abruptly over there. I don't want that to be a single block wide right at the peak. And now that I'm actually looking at that one over there, if the mushroom would get out of my way, this one is actually really starting to bug me the more that I look at it. So I think I'm gonna do something about that really quick. Oh, that's why I couldn't do that. It can't stay like this. So this is what I came up with for the roof. I think it looks a whole lot better. It does create kind of a new problem for me, because now every time I look at that roof, which isn't even done, but every time I look at that roof over there now, I'm not impressed. So I'm gonna take this design and I'm gonna slap it on top of that roof over there. I have basically insta-mine with my axe versus these mushroom stems, so I need to be extra super careful when I am getting rid of this roof here. The roof is in place and all patched up, and I think it came out pretty good. I'm not totally in love with this house overall. I think just it's not the most visually interesting to look at, but I'm gonna leave it alone for now, and I'll work on that building right there behind the other one we did. All right, you can call me crazy if you want, but I decided to try making this tower out of jungle logs, and yeah, it looks about how you would expect. I'm switching over to brown mushroom blocks, and I think I'm gonna keep the jungle planks, but yeah, the stripped jungle logs do not look the way that I want them to at all. Okay, I know it looks kind of bad right now, but that is the size and the shape that I was going for. It is meant to be more of an apartment building versus a house like all of the other ones. And obviously it is missing windows still. There's also going to be some balconies and other things protruding. So it will look better as I continue to detail it, I promise. So this is the floor plan that I came up with. It works out to 2, reasonably sized apartments on each floor. So this will be a living room, this will be a bedroom for the first apartment, and then this will be the bedroom and living room for the second one. Got the staircase that'll come up, wrap around, and go right up to the next floor. I think we'll have room for 3 floors. If not, I'll expand just a couple blocks up to get the full 3 stories there. And then at that point, I will work on actually putting windows, balconies, and other decoration on the outside of the building. Alrighty, so I made it to the 3rd floor, and I actually had a extra layer of mushroom blocks at the top here. So got 3 full floors, and I think what I'm gonna do, just to finish it off, is I'm actually gonna have a flat roof and just fill this in with half slabs, just like this. And there we go. Now I can put some windows in, at least 1 for each room, maybe more than 1 if it's a nice corner spot. I'm trying out some tiny balconies just to see how they look. So we're really just doing a couple of slabs and some iron bars and a door, and maybe fill that in. But then you walk out here and you got your full view, and you can close the door behind you and stuff, but it's not like a full walk all the way across, look into your neighbor's window type of balcony here. And I think that from up here looks pretty decent. The balconies are all in place. They don't really add as much as I was thinking, and I'm okay with that for the most part. I do think that the whole build sort of sticks out a lot more than I thought it would. I did receive a suggestion to maybe put a roof on this thing, considering that there are no flat roofs at all throughout the rest of the city. So even though this is a like apartment style building, that doesn't mean that it can't have a roof. So maybe I'll try that and put some jungle roof, maybe this style of roof on top of it there, and see how that helps. So I think that does actually help a lot with the shape. I'm not so sure about the color. It is supposed to blend, so I guess it accomplishes that and kind of keeps it from, you know, drawing the eye too much, at least too much more than it already is. So that's all good and stuff. I'm starting to have like an issue with this building, which is pretty funny because earlier I was thinking, oh, I should do the little building first because it's easier, and then I'll knock out the more annoying one afterwards. And now I'm starting to feel like I'm probably gonna have to redo that little building because it is too little. Yep. This house is not the vibe. It is not interesting or beautiful enough, and it needs to be completely replaced with a better looking house. I'm not gonna do that this episode, but I can at least take the very first step, which is to do this. I'll see you in the next episode.